Hello folks, welcome to IAS Academy. We'll be discussing a current affair topic in this video. Let's see what is the topic that we will be discussing today, and this is presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So the topic that we will be looking into today is why is Trump threatening the Hamas? In this video we will see as to why is it news, what is the relevance of it to UPSC, that is a GS paper 2. We will also be discussing about your ceasefire deal agreement. At the same point of time, we will also be seeing the violations in the ceasefire agreement. We will see what is the USA stance on this, and we will see why are Egypt and Jordan drawn into this battle. Alright, let's get the video started. Look at this. As far as I am concerned, if all the hostages aren't returned by Saturday, I think it's an appropriate time, I would say, cancel it and all bets are off. And let the hell break loose. This is said by a US President Donald Trump. What made him tell that, yes, let all the hell break loose? What exactly happened? We will be discussing in the course of the video. First, try to understand it like a story. You all know that you're Israel and Hamas, a militant group from Palestine, more specifically in the Gaza area, this is focused on, entered into a full frontal violent attack on your 2023 October 7th. Huge number of casualties were inflicted on each other. Official count says somewhere around 1.5 thousand people were killed, whereas your doctors in the Gaza region claim that 48,000 casualties were there, and most of these were civilians and your military. This kept on happening. They will attack, these people will retaliate, these people will attack, they will retaliate. This went on going until and unless a ceasefire was brokered between Israel and Hamas. A ceasefire, which means hold for a moment. So this ceasefire was brokered between Israel and Hamas in 2025 January. This was coming in effect. This was the first phase. This was the first phase of a ceasefire agreement where both agreed to, yes, put a hold on it, was for different reasons. First thing, all their supplies, military, etc. needed refueling. So both of them saw that, yes, we will use this period of time to refuel, to re-energize. Okay, different motives, but both agreed to the ceasefire. And there were certain conditions under the ceasefire. Few of those was, when your Hamas attacked Israel on this particular date, it took hostages. It took Israeli hostages. When your Israel retaliated, it took in Palestine prisoners. A part of the agreement was for swapping. Israeli hostages will be released for Palestinian prisoners. This was also part of your ceasefire agreement. Fine, this kept on happening so much so that up until now, 5 swaps have happened. Fine? Okay, up until here this was going fine. Then something happened. That is what triggered for some other outcome. What happened? Recently, you would have come across this. Even Legacy IAS we have did this video also. If you haven't checked out, check out that video where Trump came up with a solution where he is going to tell he is finding a ground which will eliminate all terrorism from Gaza. How he has claimed that he will do it is, USA will take over Gaza. On On the backdrop of this announcement, it sent shockwaves among everyone. Wait, what is this person talking? Is it for real? And at the same point of time, your Hamas held that, fine, this Saturday, that is on your February 15th, they were to release few hostages. They said, we are going to postpone this because the Israel has violated the ceasefire agreement. How it has violated? First and foremost, the released Gazan people, when they would go to the northern Gaza, they were either airstrikes performed on them or they were gunned down. Another thing that was agreed as a part of ceasefire deal was to provide humanitarian aid. This was agreed up in the ceasefire, but that was also not given, but rather they were shot, they were did with airstrike launches. So all of this happened, so they have violated. As a result, we will postpone the swap that was to happen on Saturday. Understanding? To this, the Trump US president has reacted telling, if they do not release all the Israeli people by, that is Israeli hostages, by Saturday, then let's cancel the ceasefire deal and let all the hell break loose. This is the meaning of your all hell would break loose ka story. Now let's see, how is your Israel reacting to this? How is Hamas reacting to this? How is world reacting to this? Why is Egypt and Jordan bought into this issue? Alright? Look at this. Your Israeli hostages being released by your Hamas during one of the swaps. What your Hamas is telling for this and what your Israel is responding. The spokesperson of your Hamas has held that the next hostage release, which was scheduled for next Saturday, that is Feb 15th, will be postponed until further notice. Okay, this is your spokesperson for Hamas. Again, Abu Ubaidi, also the spokesperson for the military wing of your Hamas, has held that a resumption of hostage prisoner exchanges was pending as the Israeli occupation's compliance and retroactive fulfillment of the past week's obligations. That is, Israel should fulfill whatever obligations it had made, then we will further see when we should resume. To this, the Israeli defense minister has held that Hamas announcement that they will postpone the swaps is a complete violation of the ceasefire agreement and has held that they have warned the idea of Israeli defense force to prepare at all levels and to any extent. Meaning, they are prepared if the agreement goes either ways. If it proceeds in a smoother side, fine. If it not, they are ready to retaliate with violence also. So this is the outcome. Like I mentioned, your ceasefire, which started from January. This was the first phase. The first phase of the ceasefire agreement between your Israel and Hamas was for a period of 6 weeks. Understanding? Now, in this 6 weeks, the first phase also had a provision where in the 16th day of the first truce, they were to send, that is both sides, your Israel as well as Hamas were to send people, that is negotiators, for second round talks or second round negotiation. Understand this very well. Both Israel and Hamas had agreed for a ceasefire deal. That was for a period of 6 weeks. Yes, which means around 42 days. So in this first phase only, there was a provision for the second phase of the ceasefire deal, which means on the 16th day of this first phase, Both the parties were to send negotiators to speak for the second round of talks in your Qatar. Israel has now denied sending its negotiators to your Doha for your second round of negotiations. And one main thing is, this side or that side, if they don't send negotiators and if this deal breaks down, the most that would be affected would be the hostages and the prisoners, for which your Hostage and Missing Families Forum campaign has held and made pleadings to both sides that please adhere to the existing agreement, because there is lot of humanitarian issues that is going on both sides. This is the pleading that is coming from your Hostage and Missing Families Forum. Now, we will come to the third part of the question. Why is Jordan and Egypt being drawn into the issue when it is about your Israel and Hamas? First and foremost, like I mentioned, Trump has brought in this strategy where US will take over Gaza. Yes, and the way he plans of doing that is remove all the Palestinian people from Gaza, and he is going to give them or create housing for them elsewhere, create employment opportunities for them, and also make sure that there will be huge amount of welfare activities for them. And also he has claimed that by doing so they would not want to come back to Gaza because that place would be much better. And one way he is trying to tell how he is going to take out Palestinians, that is, if they are taken out from this place, they have to be put in some place. He is telling Jordan and Egypt should take these Palestinian people. That is, he wants to remove all the Palestinians from Gaza, and when people are coming out, the refugees, Jordan and Egypt have to accept them. Listening to this, United Nations as well as many experts have, it has drawn huge criticism. How is it making sense that you doing this, and why should they have to accept it? The US president has also held that if they do not accept the refugees or the Palestinians, one thing is Jordan, Egypt, both are allies of your USA. And second main thing is US President Donald Trump has claimed that if they do not accept, then he will cut off US aid. This is his grand plan for Gaza situation. Trump said he discussed his vision on a call earlier in the day with King Abdullah II of Jordan and would speak Sunday with President Abdel Fattah of Egypt. Your King Abdullah II of Jordan is yet to visit. He will be visiting US President almost this week or the next week. So this is his grand plan on how he is going to deal with the Gaza situation. Now, like I mentioned, if both those countries do not agree to this, then they will be waived off with US aid. They will be cut off from US aid, as well as they don't want to make enmity with their biggest ally. Why suddenly he has put this on your Egypt and Jordan? Why suddenly? This is coming on the backdrop because your Cairo, that is your Egypt's foreign minister, said it rejected any compromise of Palestinian rights, including remaining on the land. So this is the backdrop on what Trump had told. And this also claims that on several occasions when Donald Trump was asked, do you think now if you will remove all the Palestinians from Gaza, will they ever have a right to return to that land? For which Trump has told, no, they will not have the right to return to their land, because the place they will be having, the housing that they will have, will be much better than what they have right now. Now, doesn't it seem like, do you think the Gaza situation that is happening right now is because for a piece of building? Do you think it's because of the housing issues? Don't you think it is about wanting to be on the motherland, wanting to be on a land that they claim has history of ages, their culture, their roots, everything? And also, if it were about mere buildings, people would, do you think now, for example, in the northern part of Gaza, despite this, people are still returning to their homes. Why? Because it is their home and not because it is some part of a building. If such a thing were ever to happen, if Trump's plan was ever to come into reality, then as many Arab countries would call it, it would mean like Nakba or a catastrophe wherein millions of Palestinians are driven away from their homeland. It once happened in your 1948 during creation of Israel. Now, if you see a UN Human Rights Office spokesperson has held that the released hostages and your prisoners, if you look at the health condition of them, or if you closely have a look at them, one thing you can see is they have been subject to severe ill treatment, they are malnourished, and also it is deeply disturbing to see the condition they were put through. See, here it is not about only it is Israeli people, Palestinian people. The one main thing is they are all human beings, where the concept of humanitarian itself is taken away. Leave your political agendas, leave all these fights aside, and first thing is they have a right to not be subject to torture. Every human being has that. So, time and again, there are huge criticisms on the way both sides have been treated, and human rights are claiming that on both sides they have to treat human beings like they are human beings. That's it. We've reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it along with your friends. Thank you.